Hi, and welcome back to my series of the 2000s. And we are up to the year 2003. And 2003 is a very special year because something very special came out in 2003. My all-time favorite fragrance came out in 2003, and that's the one I'm going to kick off with. And it is none other, well, I'm a foregone conclusion right now, I guess, because I've talked about this fragrance so many times in so many videos as being my ultimate, my all-time favorite fragrance. And if you haven't watched any of those videos and you have no idea what I'm about to show you, it's this one right here. This is the all-time greatest fragrance, Gucci Pour Homme, also known as Gucci Pour Homme 1 from the year 2003. And there's a whole story about how I got my first bottle of this, and this may be bottle number 6 for me, and possibly the last, because they're getting extremely hard to find and extremely expensive at this point. So this is all I've got, and maybe another smaller bottle somewhere hidden away from reach from me. Gucci Pour Homme 1, very church, very woody, cedar, papyrus, just magic inside this bottle, and something that works so well with my skin and my sensibilities as to what I want to smell like and the kind of image I want to sort of represent. The next one from 2003, and again, I can't believe this fragrance is from 2003. It is Visit by Azzaro. Here you go. This one with its funky sort of bottle and atomizer at the top here like this. You press down and it squirts out the juice. This is another one that was done by, I think, Annick Menardo. 2003. She always puts in something kooky and something a little bit off kilter in her fragrances, which really I like. She did that for Body Kuros with the eucalyptus, and I think she's done that in here with a bit of nutmeg and smokiness in there as well. I actually prefer this a lot more than I do Gucci Rush for men, and I think that it is more better done. It's just that it didn't catch the hype, maybe because it is not made by a bigger sort of fragrance house or a bigger designer brand, and it didn't get enough of the marketing and promotion that usually goes towards making a fragrance more popular than it should actually be. But yeah, here's one from 2003, which you can still get now as a cheapie, and I think this is still on a lot of cheapies lists, as you can see if you watch fragrance review videos. Azzaro's Visit. This next one from 2003, you would be a bit surprised because I've never actually mentioned this house in any of my millions of videos that I've put out, and it is this one right here. Oops, I should turn it around. It is Endymion by Penhaligon's. As you can see, the bottle is empty, and I emptied it pretty quickly because it wasn't something that I could smell on myself for a long time, and I used to overspray this to compensate for that, and that's why I went through this bottle. And it is, how big is this bottle? Oh, it's 100 ml. Okay, well, I went through the 100 ml pretty damn quickly. From what I remember, it's a very pleasant and enjoyable smell, and I'm pretty sure that other people may have thought, hey, it's a nice smell, but it doesn't last very long. And that's why they made an intense version or an extreme version, well, whatever it was called. And I'm assuming that that one's a bit stronger. However, this was a nice sort of coffee and spicy kind of scent, mild spicy with a bit of coffee kind of scent, and lavender as well. And it was quite well done, and probably say the first niche fragrance that I finished a full bottle of in 2003. Endymion by Penhaligon's. Here's one that's probably a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. It is from 2003. It is Black by Kenneth Cole. There you go. And I don't know if you can make it out, but I'm actually halfway through this bottle, and I didn't buy it too long ago. This isn't like a vintage or anything. I just bought it because it was cheap and it looked interesting, and it looked like I liked the note breakdown with the pepper and the orange and stuff in there. And I do wear it whenever I need like a zesty sort of citrusy sort of pick me up and a peppery sort of kick. I really like this. And it's probably appropriate for gym wear, I think. and it's priced that way as well. Kenneth Cole, black. Don't underrate it. In the last video, we talked about Dior's Higher. Well, in the next year afterwards, in 2003, they came up with Higher Energy. And I've got a little 10 ml bottle of this, which I decanted some out of so that I can spray it on in a sprayer because these dab bottles are annoying. This is a very, very inoffensive citrus, just plain old citrus, that's what it is. There's really nothing all that interesting in this particular fragrance, and I have no idea why it's lasted the distance in Dior's lineup. Dior has discontinued so many incredible fragrances, but somehow they've kept this in the lineup, and I have no idea why. It's probably because it sells well. It's probably because it's so safe to wear to people who just want a high quality, nice smell, nondescript smell, and probably explains why I've only got a 10 ml of it, because I've never invested in a full bottle of this. It's just not that interesting enough for me. However, if you want something safe that's semi-high quality in a designer sort of mentality and a designer sort of execution with designer sensibilities, then this, perfect. Dior, Higher Energy. Okay, here's another fragrance from 2003 that I've never talked about, and a house that I've never talked about either, because this is the only fragrance I've ever bought from this particular house, and it is Mauboussin. I hope I'm saying this correctly. Mauboussin Pour Homme. I used it in the late 2000s. It's actually quite a funky little bottle with its purple here, and it's got like this little purple sort of plasticky sort of emerald at the top, and if you want to use it, right, you got to twist the top and then spray it, and then twist it this way, and it doesn't spray. So it's pretty nice, pretty gimmicky, but the bottle is actually quite nice, and the scent itself was actually quite good as well. It was just another sort of scent that I wore to work, to the office, and that's probably why it's finished, because I used to go to the office quite a bit, as we all did back in the day, but I don't anymore, so I can wear a lot more daring, a lot more challenging scents. And I think that the market itself has become more immune to some of these stronger scents, whereas before, if you, like about 10, 20, maybe even 10 years ago, if you wore something crazy, like some kind of crazy barnyard oud scent to the office, people would just be, you need to go home and wash that off. But these days, I don't think many people care, nor can they say anything about it. It's the times we live in, and it's certainly not 2003 anymore. Now, I started this video with my favorite fragrance of all time. That was Gucci Pour Homme 2003. That was from Gucci Pour Homme 1 from 2003. And I'm going to end this video with my all-time greatest fragrance of all time. Almost. And I say almost because this would have been my most favorite fragrance of all time had I had a chance to get another bottle of it. And to this day, I've only ever had a 50 ml of Louis by Rochas. And this is, my God, one of the best fragrances ever made. I just think that, like, it trumps the Gucci Pour Homme one because it's got that dark neroli in it. And I say that it bears a very strong resemblance to Gucci Pour Homme 1, and that's probably because it also had the same perfumer, which is Michel Almerac. However, I think for this one, I think Amandine Leclerc, I think it was the other perfumer in this one, whereas Michel Almerac did Gucci Pour Homme 1 on his own, and that's what it says anyway. However, this was a very short run, and Lord, I wish I had another bottle of it. I really do. And if I can find it, I would get it, and I would wear it again like crazy. Louis by Rocha, if you do have it, enjoy it. You've got one of the best scents of all time. If you don't, this is one that I would personally seek out for because I've got an experience with it. But if you don't, then I don't think there's anything out there in the market that's similar to this right now. Even in the niche space, I haven't been able to find it, or I haven't put my nose to anything close to this. I'll just sit here and lament whatever smell is left in this bottle. And while I do that, I can thank you all for watching. See you in the next one.